Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, Jenny-esque. Thanks for listening, thanks for subscribing, and remember to subscribe if you haven't already, and also click on the bell for notifications for new videos. Today I'm going to be talking about some customization options you can get with Louis Vuitton. So interestingly, the past several months, my husband and I have been out and about anecdotally looking at which brands of handbags and totes and things that people are carrying. And by far, LV is the most common. And this crosses demographics. It's so interesting to see people ranging from their 20s to their 80s rocking LV items. And of course, it's synonymous with luxury. It's a status symbol, but it also, something about the LV design language has universal appeal. So it's very interesting to see how it plays out. And I myself am a fan of the design language and really have lately been in the market for a tote. So of course, the Neverfull was a contender. And I looked at dozens and dozens of totes ranging from a $200 price point to a $5,000 price point. The Neverfull is in between. It's a little over $2,000 currently. And part of what went into my head was, well, I see so many people with it, which is a plus, but on the other hand, it's sort of like, well, then how am I putting myself out there in a different way? And so in comes customization. Now, many people aren't even aware of it, but LV does offer customization items on a wide array of items ranging from small leather goods to handbags to even luggage. And both for men and women. And you can order online or you can meet with your sales associate in person and decide on your customization options. So I'm going to be referring to notes here since I'm talking about some of the technical things and I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So I may be glancing at my notes here and again. So one of the customization options for a group of items is the LV World Tour. The World Tour involves a whole set of fun, what they dub stickers, ranging from grand hotels to your zodiac sign to LV heritage initials and icons and things, including the lock and, really fun stuff. And it's just, I would call it whimsical yet sophisticated. So it's really cool and it's a great opportunity to personalize an item that you may see everywhere, for example, like the Neverfull. This is a way to distinguish your Neverfull and kind of infuse it with what your personality or what resonates with you. Another option is the My Heritage. So again, let's use the Neverfull as an example. You can have your initials and that you can choose from an array of striped patterns to have on there. And again, it's sort of a hallmark of distinction and it's yours. So it's really a nice piece to carry and to showcase your heritage and your initials and your sense of style. One of the things in particular I wanted to mention is with the World Tour, you can actually select black leather handles to the bag. And that is the only way you can select it with customization. You cannot do that with the My Heritage. So that already was an element of distinction that I liked. Furthermore, the vachetta, as we know, it patinas. And if it does get any sort of liquids or water on it, it could stain. The black, I was like, okay, it's not bulletproof or it's not entirely, indestructible. However, it will take a lot to show any marks on the black handles. So I thought that was cool. On the World Tour Neverfull, there are different sticker placement options provided. There's the front and the back, and then some are also echoed on the pouch. However, where they offer the placement, you can't change. You can't say, for instance, where the LV pop goes top left, you can't decide you want a city placed there. So they're fixed insofar as what the options are and where they go. However, you can choose to not do all of the stickers, or you can choose to highlight your favorite stickers, and you can play with the positioning on the front and the back because the sizing differs, for instance, with the cities. So when I was putting concepts together, I played with, oh, how does it look like where a city, for example, can go on the front versus the same city on the back, and the positioning, and also which ones appear on the pouch. For those of you who may not want to go all out with customization, but are interested in personalization, on many of the LV small leather goods, they do offer a hot stamp option. So in a traditional gold or silver. So that could go on a wallet or a small piece and just have a small element of personalization that makes it yours. When it comes to customization with LV products, and in particular discussing the Neverfull, the World Tour option is available on the MM only. However, if you're interested in the My Heritage, that is available with other models. And with the initials, you can choose to select your initials or actually opt to just include stripes. So one of the things people do think about nowadays when purchasing these luxury items is potential resale value. So it's certainly a consideration if you're going to buy a tote with your initials and or your name, or even if you went for the World Tour and you're opting for stickers that have meaning to you, it may not have meaning to someone else. So it is something to consider. On the flip side of the argument, if it does have your initials and or your name, perhaps that's a little bit of a deterrent for a potential thief to abscond with it because the resale value is more limited. Now, what I really think is a great opportunity here is to have the hallmark classic piece that you like, but with a touch of color, a touch of your personality. And in the case of the World Tour, which is what I chose in the end, there are really great opportunities to select LV Pop, different cities, different grand hotels, zodiac sign if you wish. Regarding the cities, you know, they have a lot of ones you would expect, like New York and Tokyo. I wish they had Tel Aviv. That would have been awesome. But not yet, maybe soon. And, you know, for the monogram series, which I think is classic and tried and true, one of the things that really impressed me was that you have an option of 17 colors for the interior as well as the stripes. I actually did opt to customize a Neverfull with World Tour. And here's why. So I find myself often needing a tote, and the totes that I have are too casual for business and also not really large enough to accommodate my computer or my iPad and other things I would need in tow when, let's say, spending a day in New York City in between meetings. I decided that after looking at dozens of bags, dozens of totes, ranging in price points from $200 to $5,000, in the end of the day, I kept going back to the Neverfull because of the classic design, because of the openness, because of what it can hold. And just, I love, it's just a classic piece. However, I also felt like I want something with a little bit of something, something on it. So that's really reflective of me. When you are going to purchase one of these totes, you have to live with it, and you of course want it to have longevity for yourself, let alone if you are considering resale. So I myself cogitated for several days and played with various permutations of designs and would sleep on it and revisit it and look at it again. And as someone who's an artist and has a different sense of style, that's kind of how my process is. I'm not impulsive when it comes to these things. I want to make sure this is what I love, and that's the version that is just right. So I'm excited to share that with you when it comes through. Now, for yourself, I would definitely advise, even if you do choose to order it in store with a sales associate, as I did with Ricardo at Short Hills in New Jersey, you still should play at home with different variations. You should look at it, compare them side by side. I did screenshots actually. So I did screenshots of my favorite designs and I would compare and contrast and narrowed down to my final selection. Also, one of the reasons I opted to have it in store was through the experience, and actually Ricardo and I had a very interesting conversation about our respective backgrounds and cultures, and it just opened up a discussion, and I thought that was really awesome. Now, for security purposes, I also chose to have the item shipped to the store. We all know about porch pirates, and that happens on small, insignificant things, let alone a big ticket item like this. I wanted to make sure it securely arrives, and given it's shipping internally from LV to an LV store, I feel a lot better about that process. So in addition to the security factor of having a customized item shipped to an LV store versus one's home, there's another advantage, which is if for some reason it is not up to the quality standards or your satisfaction, right there you are at an LV store with your sales associate looking at the item, and I imagine that they can remedy and address that process rather quickly, rather than if you had it at home and have to make an appointment and come in. And really evaluate the product carefully with your sales associate, and this way, for lack of a better word, you have a witness to how the product was as you unboxed it, and you cannot be accused of tampering with it in any way as far as the quality or as far as how the piece came out. Now, my Neverfull and any of these items are made to order, and they do say it takes about 6 to 8 weeks. I am hoping mine comes in sooner rather than later, and I can't wait to show you on the next reveal video. There are a lot of things to consider before customization. We all know that luxury bags do have a resale value if kept in great condition, kept in excellent condition, even better. So if you are considering customization, that's something you may want to take into account, because if you're doing a MyHeritage, and I used my initials, for example, JA, what's the probability that someone else has the same initials if I wanted to resell it down the line? And same with World Tour, because you're picking different cities of significance or zodiac sign, and you can pick any and all the options that they have for the various placements. You know, it really may be very niche, that it may not have the same kind of resale value if that's something that is factoring into the equation when you're making this purchase. I did not go in with the mindset that it is for resale. I went in the mindset, this is for me, and this is what I'd like, and this is what I want to carry. So I really had to think long and hard. You know, I mean, not quite analogous, but one of the reasons I've never gotten a tattoo is that my tastes have changed over the years. Now, this is a bag now, and of course it's not forever, but I want it to have longevity. So I did take a good few weeks to sleep on it, revisit designs until I really was like, this is it. So that was my process. So basically, I guess what I'm driving at is, if you want the luxury piece, but you don't necessarily want to blend in with the crowd, this is a great way through the customization to express your sense of style, your personality, whether that be your initials through the World Tour or the hot stamping, but it's a really nice detail, and it's made to order. So it's a really fun process that you build up anticipation to receive and check it out. And yeah, so I can't wait to share with you my reveal of the Neverfull, hoping sooner rather than later, hoping it's going to come within the next 2 weeks-ish. I would love to hear, have you explored at all the customization options through LV or other brands for that matter? I'd love to hear about your experience. Please write in the comments. If you have additional questions about my experience or other related topics about customization you'd like me to explore, please add them below. If you haven't already, please subscribe and click the bell for notifications on new videos. And again, please leave your comments, questions, and other suggested topics that you'd like me to explore. Thanks, everybody. See you again soon.